Hello. Today we're going to talk about conditional formatting. Now, conditional formatting is a pretty large set of skills, and we could spend a ton of time talking about custom formats. With that said, this is going to be the first of two videos where I'm just going to generally introduce how you can apply the various categories of conditional formatting. I'm not going to have a chance to get into all of them, but in this video, I'm going to look at conditional formatting, which is under the Home tab. It's in the Styles group, and you see there are 5 different categories here. There's also new rules, manage rules, where you can do all kinds of variations of other things. In this video, I'm going to talk about highlight cell rules and top-bottom rules. In my opinion, these are the more complicated ones to apply, generally speaking, because they are kind of mathematical in nature, like average and between and percentiles, and there's all kinds of ways you can alter these. But so I'm just going to take you through several scenarios, and we will look at how you can apply them. So I'm going to apply 5 different rules, and so rather than just talk about it, let's look at them in practice. So I've got this wall of data here. This wall of data is pretty long. It's almost 1,000 rows. Now, this is information about baseball players, and if you're a baseball fan, you might find this interesting, but it really doesn't matter how much you like baseball. No one wants to look at a wall of data. So we can use a tool like conditional formatting to make some of these values pop out. Right? We can take these numbers, which are lifeless, and we can give them context. In these examples, we're going to be highlighting cells to make them more meaningful. So I want to highlight the players with ages over 40. At this point, you start wondering how many of these players are above 40. Well, if we're going to solve this problem with conditional formatting, I'm going to show you a trick for selecting a large range. What I always do is I click at the top of the range, I hold down Control Shift down arrow. That gives me the entire range. Now what I wanted to do was highlight the players that had an age above 40. So with the range selected, I'm going to head over to conditional formatting. Now I've got to figure out what set of tools is going to work for me. I'm looking at highlight cell rules. I'm thinking greater than looks pretty promising, and I put in a 40. And then highlight cell rules, like this doesn't say highlight, but what do you want those cells to look like? Do you want them to be red on red, yellow on yellow, green on green, or something custom? Let's just do red on red. That looks like it didn't work, but this makes sense. This is Major League Baseball players, and there are not that many of them with an age over 40. There are some, but there's only a handful of them. Now, if I wanted to know how many, well, that's like a count if, or a filter can be used for that. But notice that now I can quickly scan that data, and just with my eyes, I don't have to think. I can just find what I'm looking for. Now, really, this would be better probably application if the data set wasn't 1,000 rows, because I don't really want to scroll through 1,000 rows, but at least it's an option for me. All right, so that's highlight greater than. So let's do another one, and this one I'm going to make the most elaborate example. So I'm a Giants fan, so let's say I want to highlight the players on San Francisco. So you got to ask yourself, what column am I going to be applying this conditional formatting to? And in this instance, it's going to be team. So I'm going to select that range. I'm going to head over to conditional formatting. Let's see what highlight cell rules has. Well, I could do text that contains. I bet I can get away with equal to. Let's see if that works. SF. You can see it worked from the live preview. So most often I'd say you're going to be asked to apply one of these pre-formatted ones, but sometimes you go custom. If you want to go custom, let's say I wanted to make this black background with orange font. So fill is my background color, and my font, let's make it orange. I will say that most often, I feel like, did that work? Okay, that worked. I wasn't sure if that background color took. More often than not, what you're doing is applying those pre-formats, but you can do whatever you want, because there are going to be times when you need to create your own rule. So I've talked a lot. This video is getting long, so now I'm just going to start kind of going through the examples quickly. Highlight players with a weight that is above average. So I'm going to select my range, Control Shift down arrow. Above average, right? I'm looking greater than, less than. If I knew what the average value was, I could make that work, but I don't see that. This second category of tools is more for the mathematical things, percentiles and averages and such. So I want above average, and let's do yellow on yellow. And so it's not clear what the average is, but the above average values are highlighted at this point. And really, in applying these two sets, sometimes you just kind of got to take a peek and see what tools are available to you under each of them. These are your math tools, though. These other ones, these are more just like putting icons or colors in the cells, right? That's what those are. These are used to highlight cells. All right, highlight the top 100 heights. All right, so I'm going to select my range first. Top 100. That seems like top bottom for sure. I don't see top 100, but I see top 10. And sure as heck, you can modify that to whatever you want. And I think we haven't done green yet, so let's do the green one. And there you go. The top 100 heights are now highlighted in green. You can see this makes things stand out, and that's the use of this tool. The last one, highlight the players with weights. Yeah, I'm not very good at spelling the word weight. Between 120 and 150. So I've already applied some conditional formatting, so let's go ahead and do this again. I know for a fact that above average is not going to be that range, so what I'm going to be doing here is stacking two conditional formatting rules on top of each other. Between 100 and 120, 150. So I'm going to head in here, I'm going to go here, 120, 150, and let's do something distinctive here, just so you can see this again. Let's just go fill color of maybe a light blue, and a font color of dark blue, and I don't know. I'm sure that there's one, right? There's not that many, so you know, I got excited that something actually fell into that rule, because sometimes I write rules and nothing falls into the rule. So you can see, and I want to show you what that looks like on the underlying. When you go to conditional formatting, you can always go manage the rules and see what rules are applied, and you see I've got two rules stacked. That's not a wrong thing. Sometimes you are going to have multiple rules stacked on a range, but what I will tell you is sometimes you'll also create a wrong rule, and you can clear that rule, or you can go edit that rule here. And edit rule, this is, you can go in here and do whatever the heck you want to do. You can modify it in any way you want. That's really not something I'm trying to get into in this video. I'm just trying to show you the most common kinds of conditional formatting. Manage rules and new rules, you can go do whatever the heck you want to do, but that is outside the scope of what I'm trying to do in these introductory videos. So now I hope you are better at applying highlighting to cells using conditional formatting. Use those two sets of tools. I'm going to make another video shortly where I'm going to show you how to apply these. And these are a little more straightforward because these don't have the endpoints like these do. So if you're interested in applying icon sets, color scales, and data bars, watch the next video. I hope this helped. Thanks for watching.